It's almost time to get our hands on those amazing comics, so we're going to get into this week's comics in just a second. But guys, if you have not joined the Discord server just yet, link down in the description below. It's a ton of fun. More of you guys are joining every single week, and it's awesome just to have a nice group of dudes or ladies, it doesn't matter to me, to talk comics. So guys, join that down in the description below. And guys, make sure you're sticking around to the end of the video to find out if you guys won last week's giveaway, but also how to enter this week's giveaway. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, you know it. It is time for another Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for a new comic book day, which is just a few days away. Actually, no, it's only one day away because today is Tuesday, January 20th of 2024, and new comic book day is January 21st, so just a day away. And I'm going to get you so pumped and so excited for the books that are on my pull list. Not all the new comic books, just the books that are on my pull list that you guys are running down to your local LCS to pick up some of these covers, these books, and everything in between. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time because this is going to be a little bit shorter of a video because there are no new number ones and no chopping block. So let's go ahead and check out my pull list. Now, as you guys can see right here, this is a pretty decent sized pull list. It's not quite as big as last week, but it's pretty good. But you guys can't see what those books are right there, so let me go and throw it up on screen right now. Now, there are a total of 18 books on my pull list. Now, there is an annual, which I guess you could call a new number one, but it's not really a number one because it's actually finishing a story that's currently going on in the ongoing book. So there are no new number ones. There are 6 DC books, 6 Marvel books, and 5 independent. And guys, I got caught up on all the stories that you guys see on screen right now. So every single book right here could make the top 3 list. So with that said, let's go ahead and move right over to the next section because let's keep this video moving and check out my cover lover picks. This is a nice, fat, juicy week for cover lover picks because there are so many. So let's dive right into this delicious meal we're about to eat. And first up is Batman issue number 144. I freaking love this cover. This is the cover D variant done by Matteo Scalera. We get Batman kind of like, maybe he's falling out of a window with all these guys like falling behind him. He's got like, I don't know, 6 or 7 dudes with him just beating the crap out of all of them. Matteo Scalera crushed it on this cover. Now this next cover is actually the cover B for Batman number 144 done by Yasmin Putti. And yeah, this is actually just a really cool, interesting cover. Yeah, Batman kind of like falling down, but get all these like crushed dolls around him. It's really interesting and really cool. It's just a little dark because it's hard to see exactly what's going on, but still a gorgeous cover. Now next up is Nightwing issue number 111 with the cover B done by Dan Mora. You got half Batman, half Nightwing. It's awesome. It's Dan Mora. It's so freaking good. And next up, obviously you knew there was going to be Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 2, the 1 in 25 in the 1 in 100 ratio variant done by Dyke Ruan. This cover is fantastic. Guys, when I say the name Dyke Ruan, make sure you're writing that cover down or putting it somewhere on a list, online, anywhere, because his covers are so good, so good. And with the buzz around Ultimate Spider-Man, this is going to fly off the shelf. I guarantee I'm probably not going to get my hands on one of these. I really want just the 125. I don't want the 1 in 100. It's so good. I'm looking at it right now. It's just Dyke Ruan. So good. Now next up are actually 2 covers for the second print for Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 2. So these covers will probably be out in a few weeks, but you know what? They had the images, so let me share them with you guys. So first up is Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 2, the second print variant done by Marco Cicchetto, which is the design variant. You got Green Goblin on the cover. It's really freaking good. You also got a bunch of other different characters. Just a great cover done by Marco Cicchetto. But then there is the second print 1 in 25 ratio variant, which is the art from cover A, but just made to cover the whole entire page. And it's also a virgin, which is actually pretty freaking cool. Now next up is the Incredible Hulk issue number 9 with the variant cover in the 1 in 50 virgin ratio cover done by Greg Capullo. This is so good. so good. I'm such a huge Greg Capullo fan, and this cover is absolutely fantastic. The next up is Spawn issue number 350 with the cover E variant done by Jonathan Galpon. Now, there are a bunch of covers for issue number 350 for Spawn, but I personally feel that this one just like, it screams like early Spawn. It's so good, and I absolutely love it. The next up is Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong issue number 5, the cover B variant done by Jock. Now, I'm not reading this series. I'm not all that interested in it, but the covers for this have been so good. There's been like 5 or 6 of them that have just been like a complete home run, and this one right here by Jock is just so good. Let's keep moving on though. Next up, Spider-Boy issue number 4 with the variant cover done by Nicoletta Balderi. And I just love this cover. It is really freaking cool. You got Spider-Boy kind of like, looked like he's like falling upwards or downwards. It doesn't matter, but you get the city, and it's just gorgeous colors, and it's just a really cool looking cover. Now, next up is Green Lantern War Journal issue number 6 with the cover B variant done by Raza. If you're not picking up this cover, you're a complete fool. This is so gorgeous, so quintessential Green Lantern. It's so good. It's so good. Now, next up, I have 3 covers for Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 1, and they're all bangers. First up is the 1997 variant cover done by David Nakayama, featuring, I believe that's going to be Mary Jane as Spider-Woman. Who cares who it is? I don't care. It is so good. It is so good. It's like one of the few really good 1997 covers that Marvel's putting out. Now, next up is the foil variant done by Mumad Asar, and it is too good. This is so good. Mumad Asar is putting out so many great variants. He's like right there with Ben Harvey over at Marvel Comics. He's just putting out absolute bangers. So whenever you hear me say Mumad Asar, you gotta like make sure you're looking at the screen so you see the cover. And if you like the cover, then you gotta pick up the cover, guys. Pick these up. This is so good. Now, next up, I lied. There's 4 covers for Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 1. This is the Star Wars homage variant done by Pete Woods. It's really cool. I am not a huge fan of the Star Wars cover, even though I know it because I watched so many videos, and it always comes up when they're talking about older books. And yeah, this cover is just so good. It's so good. I love it. But the next one up is probably my favorite. It's either the Mumad Asar cover or this one right here, which is the Scotty Young variant for Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 1. This is too good. Too good. Now, I'm not sure if this is the final artwork because this is a virgin. I'm sure there's going to be a trade dress on there somewhere. Probably right there at the top, right above Miles Morales. But this is such a great Scotty Young cover. This is going to go down in like one of his best, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But right now, looking at this, I freaking love it. Love it. Now, next up, we get some awesome indie variants. Now, first up is Army of Darkness Forever, issue number 5 with the cover B in the 1:20 ratio variant, which is a virgin done by Arthur Sidum. He's done, I think, a variant for each of these Army of Darkness Forever covers, and they're just so good. Or I should say issues, not covers. And they're just so freaking good. They're awesome. Now, next up is Zorro, Man of the Dead, issue number 2 with the Kickstarter premium variant done by Adam Hughes. So I think to get this, you had to sign up for the Kickstarter, which I was going to, but then I forgot about it and I missed out on this because I would have loved to have this. Adam Hughes is such an amazing artist, and this is really good. But I only have a tiny thumbnail for this, so this is looking a little blurry, but I'm sure the final is not going to be blurry like you see on screen right now. And then the final cover that we're going to show you is an awesome Adam Hughes variant. But next up is Vampirella Dracula Rage, issue number 5, the cover B in the 1:15 Virgin variant, which I'm going to try to get the Virgin variant by Celine. This is so good. You got Vampirella. She's doing like this thing with like a skull. She's got a knife in her hand. She's got her Vampirella outfit on. It is just... yeah, that is really good. Really good. But next up, the final cover that I want to show you guys, I actually found this on eBay, and then I was talking in the Discord, and they were like, hey, this is actually over at Happy Comics right now. It's exclusive for them for half price. I was about to pay $55 for this cover, and I got it for $30. $30 with shipping. It was amazing. Thank you guys on the Discord. You guys are absolutely amazing. But this is Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft, issue number 1, the Happy Comics exclusive by Adam Hughes. It's so good. It's so good. I'm so glad I'm going to be able to add this to my Hughes collection because I'm starting to build that collection up, which you guys will see in a future video because I got a haul video that's coming up. I've been buying lots of stuff. Like, I gotta stop, but I just can't. I keep going on eBay and finding myself like ordering more books, but yeah. Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft, issue number 1, the Happy Comics exclusive, is too good to pass up. Alright guys, that is it for my cover lover picks. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which is the top 3 books that I think you guys have to be picking up this week because the story is so freaking good. Now, before we dive into those top 3 books, I just gotta ask you guys, please smash that like button if you guys haven't done it yet, and if you have, thank you guys very, very much. All right, guys, let's go ahead and find out what book is sitting in the number 3 spot for this week's top 3 picks. This week, it's a pretty interesting week. We got 1 indie and 2 Marvel books on the top 3 books. But the book that's sitting in the number 3 spot is the one and only independent book, and that is Cobra Commander issue number 2. Now, I read issue number 1 yesterday, and it was really good. It actually shocked me how good it was. Now, this is written by Joshua Williamson, which I shouldn't be shocked. He's such a good writer, and has art by Andre Molina. And yeah, if you guys are into the Energon universe at all, you gotta pick up Cobra Commander because it is fitting right in with Transformers, right in with Duke, and it's gonna be so freaking good. Now, what Joshua Williamson did so good in this book is setting up who the Cobra Commander is, because we've got his whole like history, basically, not his whole history, but his history of becoming the Cobra Commander. He was a scientist, he was absolutely wacky and kooky, he did some terrible, dangerous things. It kind of backfired on him, but not at the same time. It was a really, really good story. Joshua Williamson did a fantastic job of just setting him up, and I'm so interested in this character and where it's going to go and how it's going to fit into the rest of this universe. And I'm not going to tease anything, but it's definitely fitting right in with that Energon universe because there was like a big moment at the end of the book, and it was so good. So good. So great artwork, great story, great setup, great universe, Energon. So good. Yeah, Robert Kirkman is definitely knocking it out of the park with the people he put together to make this universe. It is so freaking good. All right, guys, Cobra Commander in the number 3 spot, or I should say Cobra Commander issue number 2 is in the number 3 spot. Let's go ahead and find out what book is in the number 2 spot. All right, guys, 2 Marvel books. Can you guys guess which 2 Marvel books are in the 2 and 1 spot? I'm sure you guys already know what book is going to be in the number 1 spot. I'm sure it's like on any of these top 3 lists, top 5, top 10, it's going to be in the number 1 spot because the book is so good. But then the number 2 spot is a book that is not talked about on anywhere else. At least I'm not hearing about it, but I'm telling you right now, it is so good. It's on the list all the time for me. And that is Guardians of the Galaxy Annual Issue number 1. Now, this is wrapping up the whole Groot saga. And if you guys have been reading this current run of Guardians of the Galaxy, it's all revolved around Groot. And he's become like this like unstoppable god, basically, just like destroying universes. But you find out he's actually not destroying these universes. No, he's bringing a lot of like dead worlds and everything back to life. He's revitalizing them. And a lot of the people that he killed, he actually didn't kill them. He just like, he knew that they were like not in a good spot. And he brought them to a point where they could actually like feel the feelings that they have and like grow as people and like become their true selves. And it was so good. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen to all the Guardians and Grootfall and everything else. This is such an awesome story. Now, before I go any further and before I forget, this is coming from the writers of Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, which they're so good, guys. They're so good. They're writing so many stories. I'm afraid they're like going to be spreading themselves too thin. But right now, all their stories are so enjoyable. And this Guardians one is like, so good. But this also is going to have art by Kev Walker. Them teamed up with Kev Walker is like a home run. It's so good. I love the way that Kev Walker is drawing the Guardians and drawing the whole universe because there's so many crazy characters. The way he's done Mantis is like so good because she has that costume that she wears that can help her like transform her look whenever she wants. It's so cool. Yeah. And there's going to be a big moment for Drax because Gamora and Mantis went out and found his lost piece of his soul and they brought it back to him. And he's struggling to get his soul to actually like absorb back into him. And it's going to happen in this issue. I just know it is. But I just cannot wait to see how they're going to resolve everyone's story in this book. It's going to be so good. Kev Walker, Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Guardians of the Galaxy. If you guys haven't read this, pick it up and trade. You're missing out on a fantastic story. It did take a little bit of time to get moving, but once it did, you get sucked into the feels, and everyone loves the feels. And if you don't, well, I shouldn't say anything. If you don't, that's fine, but you should. Because when a book can get you feeling something, that means the writer and the artists are doing something truly special, and this book is. All right, guys, that's the book, and it's in the number 2 spot. Let's go ahead and finally discuss the book that's in the number 1. All right, guys, we're at the number 1 spot, and you guys already know. I can tell what's in the number 1 spot, but I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now. It is Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 2. Now, this is coming from the creative team of Jonathan Hickman as the writer, and Marco Checchetto is doing the amazing art, and this book, hands down, has everyone in the comic community head over heels excited for this book. And I know most of you have read it, and if you haven't, guys, go online, check YouTube, type in Ultimate Spider-Man reviews. You're going to come up with so many amazing things. The book was incredible. It set up this universe for Peter Parker and his family. That's right, Mary Jane and him are married. They have kids together, 2 of them, and it's going to be awesome. He didn't have his powers, but then, I forgot who it was. Not Iron Lad. Tony Stark's son is there. Not Tony Stark's son. I forget who it is. It doesn't matter. Gives him his powers. Gives him the opportunity to have his powers. And it's so good. It's such a great moment. But in this universe, Aunt May is the one that died, and Uncle Ben's alive, which is super cool. And Uncle Ben and J. Jonah Jameson are together, and they're running a newspaper, but then something really big happened to them, and they're off doing their own thing now. I don't know. This story is just perfect. It's so good. And what it didn't have, which normal books from Jonathan Hickman have, there weren't like full page text things explaining things as you're going through the book. It was just a regular, normal comic book with amazing artwork by Marco Checchetto. And it was, yeah. There's a reason why so many people are excited about this book, because it was the best book to read last month. And it's probably going to be the best book to read this month because it's so good. I hope Jonathan Hickman can keep this Ultimate Universe on this trajectory, because it is so good. So good. I'm so excited for a Marvel book, like almost more excited than any other book at DC Comics and Independent, because this right here is like superhero goodness. The best stuff. This is what us comic collectors want, what we need, and you're giving it to us. So please don't stop. Please keep going. It's the best. We can talk about variant covers. Yeah, before we sign off, because I totally forgot to talk about the variant covers for the other ones, but I'll make sure I will have shown those covers for Guardians of the Galaxy and Cobra Commander. But Ultimate Spider-Man, there are a couple okay ones. I'm just going to say the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 100 is hands down the best. There is an exclusive that's okay. There's one with the Green Goblin, which is fine. The one with Miles Morales is terrible. That is such a terrible cover. And the other one is okay. So I would only go for the 1 in 25 if you're going to get a variant. If not, just go for the cover A. All right, guys, that is the top 3 books for this week. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the books on my pull list that didn't make the top 3 list, with the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into these books. First up is Animal Pound issue number 2, quintessential Tom King book. If you like Tom King, you're going to like this. If you don't like Tom King, you're probably not going to like this. But it just felt exactly like a Tom King book. The next up is Batman issue number 144. Yeah, I haven't started reading the Joker War yet, I don't think. Maybe I did, because I did get caught up. So maybe I did read 143. I don't know. They're coming out weekly now, so I think 143 is actually coming in the mail, and I read 142. Or maybe I read the annual. I don't know. But it's Chip Zdarsky's run. It's continuing. It's a great book. It's a great book, and it's got so many good covers. But next up is Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue number 24. This looks like it's going to be the end, I believe, of the whole Magog story, and it's been really fun, and I absolutely love this cover, because how in the hell is Batman holding back Superman? How is he doing it? I want to know. Is he poisoned by kryptonite or something? Because it makes no sense. But this Magog storyline by Mark Waid has been actually pretty entertaining. The next up is Boneyard Orchard Mythos Tenement issue number 9. This book is creepy, but it's actually getting good. For a few issues, I was kind of thinking of dropping it, but man, Jeff Lemire has sucked me back in this last issue, in issue number 8, and I'm excited to see where issue number 9 and beyond is going to go. Next up, Daredevil issue number 6. I read 5 yesterday, I want to say, or the day before. This book needs to get better, otherwise it's going to be chopped. I don't want to chop Daredevil, but I'm not loving this storyline at all. The 7 sins are affecting people around him, and he has to like basically like exorcise them away. I don't know. That's not like a super solid storyline. I know he went to hell and he came back to life, but the 7 sins, kind of weak. Next up, Gods issue number 5 is coming out this week. Awesome story. If you're not reading this story, which again, I think is Jonathan Hickman, right guys? 99% sure. I'm just going to go ahead and open up another tab, double check. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is doing everything right over at Marvel Comics right now. This whole world is just so interesting, so cool. I'm not going to go into detail about it because this is the not top 3, but guys, read Gods. It's awesome. Next up, Green Lantern War Journal issue number 6. I actually found out this is only going to be a 7-issue miniseries. Why? Jon Stewart deserves his own book. And this is pretty good. You get the Revenant Queen, which is like this purple undead. She like kills things and raises them back up. It's pretty cool, and I like it. And I like the story, and I like how he's like, he didn't have a ring, but then he made himself a ring. It was cool. I like where this story is going. I hope it goes past 7 issues. Now next up is The Incredible Hulk, issue number 9, Philip Kennedy Johnson. Great writer, really great writer, but this Hulk run is like, it fell off his feet. Like, I feel like he fell down and he's trying to get back up in this last issue. I like how in this last issue it ended with one of the characters, which is like this Ghost Rider character, telling the Hulk that he needs to protect this little girl because she means a lot more to him than he knows. And that kind of sucked me back in. But if this book doesn't get better and Nick Klein goes off and again, I'm definitely going to chop this book. Now next up is Lotus Land issue number 4. A really cool futuristic story. Not going to get into details, but guys, if you liked Little Bird from Darcy Vibhole, guys, you guys will like this because it's a great book. Now next up is Nightwing issue number 111. Tom Taylor, get your poop in a group because this book needs to get great again because your beginning of your run was fantastic and then it built up and it got better and then it fizzled. Come on, light that fire, man. Light that fire. Make this book great again. The next up is Spider-Boy issue number 4. I read 3 yesterday, and it's a book written for kids. Let me say that. It's not written for me. It's not written for adults, but I don't hate it. And I kind of want to see where this story is going to go, so I'm going to keep collecting because it is a little interesting. And you know what? I like the covers. So it's kind of like cover by, but since I have it, I'm going to keep reading it. The next up is Superman issue number 11. Great story, really interesting. The last couple issues were kind of weird, but the cliffhanger at the end of issue number 10 was really good, and I cannot wait to see where the story is going to go. The next up is Titans issue number 8. Again, Tom Taylor. I'm not loving it. Not loving it. I don't know what to do, guys. I like Tom Taylor. I really like him as a writer, but this Titan story, this is supposed to be taking over from the Justice League, and it feels whack. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading it. I'm a sucker. It's a DC book. I'm a big DC fan. I'm going to keep reading it for a few more issues, and if it doesn't get better, chop chop. The next up is Wonder Woman issue number 6. Tom King, not Tom Taylor, Tom King. Read this book. Almost made the top 3 list. It is so good. Wordy? It's Tom King's like style, man. If you don't like it, like, don't read the books. I like it. And this Wonder Woman story is freaking fantastic. It's excellent. I really, really enjoy this book. There's always great covers. Issue number 6 is like one of the few issues that don't have like amazing covers, but some great covers in this. The last but not least is Zorro Man of the Dead issue number 2. I gotta tell you, I didn't love issue number 1. I was all in. I love Sean Gordon Murphy, man. That guy cannot do wrong in my opinion. This book was not bad. The artwork was fantastic. The overall story was okay, but I wanted this to be great. I really did. There are some great covers. The story is good. I'm going to keep reading it. Just not great. I wanted Sean Gordon Murphy greatness, but it's fun. It's fun, and who doesn't want a fun book? Everyone deserves a fun book, and this is a fun book. All right, guys, that is the Not Top 3, but the books you got to see. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up and find out who won last week's giveaway. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video. I want to take a second and thank every single one of you who've watched from the beginning to the end. Let you guys know, you guys are legends. You guys are so freaking amazing. Now look down if you hit that like. Now look down if you haven't hit that like button just yet. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Now look right over next to the like button. Does it say you're subscribed? If it doesn't say you're subscribed, I just gotta ask you, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys. Oh, this is not what you guys want to see. You guys want to see last week's video so that way we can find out who won last week's giveaway. So let me go ahead and flip this over and let's go ahead and find out who won last week's giveaway. Alright guys, you know how we do this. We go over to last week's video. We click here, we hit pause, we go ahead and copy that URL, and then we go to this website right here. We paste that URL, we hit fetch. Not anything goes, no, we use a keyword filter and we use the hashtag I love comic books. We go ahead and hit continue, and there were 39 of you guys that left comments. Congratulations to each and every one of you. You have an entry into this week's giveaway. But let's go ahead and find out who won last week's giveaway. I should say last week's giveaway. So let's go ahead and find out who won last week's giveaway. In 3, 2, 1, it was Hardly Watching. And you left a comment, hashtag I love comic books, Red Hood, let's go. Congratulations, Hardly Watching. Hopefully you're actually watching with intent this time because you won last week's giveaway. And what I need you to do is go over to our Instagram. Our handle is right here, and slide into our DMs and give us your address. And I will get your winnings out to you in 3 to 4 weeks time. Most likely closer to the 4 weeks, so I'm a little bit behind. I am going out to my sister's, not this weekend, but next weekend, and she has a great shop near her house that just opened up a little while ago with lots of great variant covers, and I'm going to do a whole lot of shopping when I'm up there, get a lot of books for the giveaway. So if you guys haven't got anything in the last few weeks, just know that I am going to go pick up some books really soon, so that way you guys have some awesome books for these giveaways. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I'll be back later this week, hopefully on Wednesday, with my previews highlights video, because the previews are due, I believe, in 2 weeks time. So I want to make sure I get that out this week so that way you guys have time to get in your previews orders, and then I'll be back with the final order cutoff video at the end of the week. All right guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, a great new comic book day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.